renovation of the May the 1st football stadium, and construction of the 5-star Rugyong Hotel, housed in the tallest building in Pyongyang, which is still underway after 27 years of work. Plus many other buildings and complexes whose construction was initiated by Kim Jong-un.
원수님께서 먼저 형성하도록 도와주시고 설계와 시공 계획까지 구체적인 지도를 주시었습니다.
그러니까 경영 원수님께서 이게 우리 병원에 이제 찾아오실 때 작년 이제 며칠 있으면 된다. 10월 5일 날 이제 경영 원수님께서 이제 그 완공을 앞둔 우리 병원에 오셨을 때 이제 쭉 돌아보시고 그때는 이제 구림이 많지 않았습니다. 여기에 구림이 군데 있었는데 이거 아동 병원인 것만큼 아동 심리에 맞게 사방 다 구림으로 장식해야 된다고 말씀해 주시고 그다음
We started construction of this museum in September 2012, and under the wise leadership of the under the wise leadership of the Marshal Kim Jong-un, we finished the construction within only 10 months. The museum and the weapons exhibitions outside and all the renovations, the monuments, everything was done within only 10 months' time.
The news block at the state-controlled TV channel focuses entirely on the country's economy. The biggest share of North Korea's GDP is from industry and mining, followed by the service sector and agriculture, which isn't enough to meet the population's needs. Slightly over 15% of the land can be farmed. Tourism and disguised foreign investments are sources of foreign currency badly needed in a country living with sanctions and economic war. Tourists are only allowed to pay in euros, US dollars or Chinese yuan. They have to pay higher tourist prices. The few foreigners who visit the country, many of whom are Chinese, are constantly accompanied by one or several guides. Tourists can't leave their room in the 47-story hotel, complete with 5 restaurants and souvenir shop, and walk unattended to the casino in the basement. It's leased by a company from Macau. Only twice did we get the chance to walk the streets of Pyongyang. The rest of the time we were chauffeur-driven in a minivan. Every morning and night, several times a day, this disturbing melody can be heard playing on the many loudspeakers in Pyongyang's railway station. Newcomers are immersed in a nightmarish atmosphere, a funeral march serving to remind all who pass through of the great eternal generals. Every visitor to the capital brings flowers. They must pay their respect to the colossal bronze statues standing at the top of Mansu Hill. North Koreans say that they're required to perform this ceremony each and every time they visit any city. A quite remarkable number of literary works are attributed to the great generals. The National Library contains the selected outstanding works of the founder of the nation. There are more than 700 volumes of Kim Il-sung's speeches, books, and plays. One of the best known by the eternal president is a speech calling on the people to support his son, Kim Jong-il, who would soon take over from his father.
김일성 대원수님과 경양 김정일 장군 그리고 현재 우리 김정은 원수님 이 세 분이 그 세상 사람들이 이제 어떻게 이해하겠는지 그건 모르겠지만 우리에게는 그 남들한테 설명하자면 역사적으로 풀어야 되잖아요. 그런 설명은 필요 없고 한 가족에서 부모와 자식 간에 우리 혈연 관계나 같다는 거. 우선 우리가 일제 때부터 역사를 파자면 다른 나라한테 목해서 살 때 우리나라를 진짜 찾아주시고 우리에게 모든 이거 삶의 행복과 모든 것을 다 마련해 주도록 정치를 펴 나가시는. 그러니까 만민이 진짜 우러르고 투표도 하고 우리 이분을 대통령으로 모셔주시오.
It's almost 3 years since Kim Jong-il died. Throughout that time, his image has been closely linked with that of his father, the eternal president. Kim Il-sungya orchids and Kim Jong-ilia begonias grace all public gardens and civic buildings. Images captured by a camera have to be perfect. The taking of partial pictures of the general's statues or photographs marred by lens flare is strictly forbidden. North Koreans all wear special insignia near their hearts. The badges bear portraits of the leaders, and among other things, they show the wearer's merit and how close they are to the government. We were told that the hardest to obtain depicts the smiling faces of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il together. Buildings are generously adorned with their portraits. There are 2 separate but identical halls, each of which contain the leaders' embalmed bodies. The Kumsusan Mausoleum represents the apotheosis in the leader's cult. Photography inside is strictly forbidden. 2 seemingly endless moving walkways are decorated with the generals' pictures portraying their lives and work. They lead to pharaonic marble halls containing the mummified leaders, surrounded by treasured objects from their respective eras. Armored trains and cars, an array of medals and decorations, even a huge map giving a detailed account of their travels. North Koreans dress in their finest clothes and flock in their hundreds to the mausolea. Today, our film crew was among them. We'd asked that North Korean worker for his thoughts about the new leader's rule. Leaning on a cane, Kim Jong-un reappeared in public after being absent for a month and a half. North Korea's mass media attributed his low profile to his indisposition. The disappearance coincided with our visit, although we only learned of it when we left. The leader, though, didn't seem to have become subject to rumor or gossip, and the few who were lucky enough to see him at close quarters were thrilled.
소리가 만세 소리가 너무 요란해서 그래서 뛰었단 말입니다. 아이들 한 명에 뭐 아버지, 어머니, 할아버지, 할머니들까지 따라오니까 어른들이 매우 많았습니다.
At that time, it was too sudden to see him, so I can't feel it. It was real, so I thought it wasn't just like real. I felt this. Is it just dream or like that? And later he passed across in front of me, and then I knew that I really met him. Yeah, my real in my life. Yeah.
For most, though, daily contact with the exalted leader is limited to the opening minutes of the evening news broadcast, which as a rule reports his latest activity. When Kim Jong-un didn't appear in public, the bulletins aired recordings of previous official engagements.
원수님께서 지금 아시겠지만 나라가 다 고립도 하고 긴장한 측면이 많지만 이런 데 많이 품을 들이고 투자를 해서 꾸려준 데 대해서 정말 감명 깊게 생각할 때가 많습니다.
경려는 김정은 원수님께서 이렇게 이 단편적인 신뢰를 놓고 봐서도 뭐 말하겠는데 경려는 원수님께서 이렇게 현대적인 우리에게 버튼강 백화점을 건설해 주시고 이민들에게 보다 훌륭하고 문명한 생활을 안겨주시려고 얼마나 러브와 심려를 많이 기울이고 계십니까? 오늘 한 가지 신뢰를 놓고 봐서도 저 오늘 일요일에 하루를 이렇게
원수님께서는 우리 인민들을 이 세상에서 제일 읍등한 인민들을 내세워주기 때문에 우리 인민들의 떼고 소그저이 이 세상에 제일 좋은 거, 제일 귀중한 거 모든 행복을 안겨준단 말입니다. 그래서 우리 문수물놀이장, 겁등어관을 비롯해서 농락물놀이장, 그다음에 이 기혈극장 정말 우리 그 갖고 싶고 백화점들 다 보면 정말 우리 눈물 나서 이렇게 감동 나서 정말 보지 못할 정도로 이렇게 인민들이 가슴 안고 우리 원수님께 기쁨과 만족을 위해서 일하다고 총성이 막 맹세를 다진단 말입니다. 그러니까 그걸 우리 인민들은 정말 행복한 인민들이고 세상에서 부름 없이 정말 행복하다는 걸 우리 빨리 좀 소개해 주십시오.
A sample of what was said when we were able to interview people on the street. Even though this was outside our planned itinerary, no spontaneous responses were forthcoming. Our attendants carefully selected the people we could talk to, and particularly sensitive topics were very much off limits.
Los coreanos son muy tímidos. En segundo lugar, ellos no entienden la mentalidad occidental o el por qué se realizan esas preguntas. Normalmente un coreano, al realizar esas preguntas, pensará que lo está haciendo con alguna intención oculta. Entonces, frente a esa intención, preferirá no responder. De todas formas, aunque pudiera responder, probablemente su nivel de conocimiento está centrado en su departamento, en su barrio. Es bastante limitado.
Ideological upbringing and loyalty to the regime begin with early childhood. The first kindergarten in North Korea was reorganized during Kim Jong-il's rule. It's open from Monday to Saturday to accommodate the children of working mothers. In one school hall, 3- and 4-year-olds put on a performance for newcomers. Five children sing a heroic song telling how their beloved leader became a steel commander, because ever since he was a child, he'd understood the importance of military force. During a revolutionary history lesson, the teacher shows a model